Let's Science is brought to you by the StarQuest Production Network and is made possible by our many generous patrons. If you'd like to support the podcast, please visit sqpn.com/give.
3, 2, 1.
We live in a universe of scientific wonders.
Every day, scientists are inching towards breakthroughs which can change our lives.
We're playing our small part in sharing these wonders with you.
That's why today is a fine day for science.
So let's science.
So today, Lino, I thought it'd be fun. Caroline had shared this with us. She gave us a few options, and this one is the one that stuck out to me. It's called 8 cool destinations that future Mars tourists could explore. So it's a bit science light. There's a bit of science in this one. So if you were, those who are listening, if you were a tourist going to Mars, start planning your trip. Here's your itinerary. I've got a few places that you can go and visit.
Awesome.
So, Lino, the first one is, and probably for me one of the most impressive ones is Olympus Mons. Olympus Mons.
Olympus Mons.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Olympus Mons is departing in 5 minutes.
Please have your boarding pass to
boarding
Olympus
passes
Mons ready.
Olympus Mons.
Yeah.
Which one would go with Elon Musk? Or
Today we'll be serving
Virgin.
Mars bars. Go and get a drink by the Mars bar.
Exactly.
This is why Caroline does science, people. So,
exactly.
Olympus Mons is or was the most extreme volcano in our solar system. And it's really impressive to look at it, at the image of it, if you've got it there in front of you. It's located in the Tharsis volcanic region, and it's the same size as the United States state of Arizona.
Goodness me,
so it's
that's
huge.
massive. That's huge.
Yeah, 25 kilometers high.
Whoa!
Yeah, and it's 3 times the height of Mount Everest here on Earth.
Oh my goodness me!
Yeah, so it's huge.
It's huge.
Yeah, it's huge.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's called a shield volcano because it was formed after lava slowly crawled down its slopes. This means that the mountain is probably easy for future explorers to climb. So its average slope is only 5%. At its summit, at its summit, the spectacular depression, so the flat surface, is 85 kilometers wide. So it's not like you're getting to the tip of a volcano. You've actually got a nice open flat space, so you can get to the top of Olympus Mons and have a barbecue after you've scaled it. That's pretty good. So there you are. Get yourself a nice lunch on Olympus Mons.
Yeah, Olympus Mons.
So it was formed by magma chambers that lost lava and collapsed. So Olympus Mons, if you're looking for that. And while you're in the lovely Tharsis region, why don't you explore the other Tharsis volcanoes that are there as well? So it's worth sticking around because there are other volcanoes. It hosts 12 gigantic volcanoes in a zone that's about 4,000 kilometers wide.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
me.
this is according to images from NASA. So these volcanoes also tend to be much larger than those on Earth. And and what they say is that because Mars's gravity is weaker, that's why the volcanoes were able to grow taller. Because they were able to erupt, higher and higher.
Higher and higher because of lesser gravity. Yes, wow.
So it's most likely that they had erupted for as long, they've been active for as long as 2 billion years, which is, according to this article that I'm using, half the history of Mars's life. So there you go.
Life. Wow.
So 2
is it still
billion
active, Lindsay?
No, they're dead. They're dead volcanoes now.
Oh, okay. I just hope they
No, if there were
erupt.
active volcanoes, they would be sending all kinds of, rovers and probes to get images and videos and show us how spectacular it is. Yeah. So they are dormant now, yes.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah, and there is an image in the show notes in the link that we're using from space.com, which has an image of these volcanoes, which is really cool to look at. So if you're done with volcanoes and exploring heights, how about exploring the depths of Mars as well by visiting Valles Marineris? Okay, so Marineris. It sounds like a seafood pizza to me. But
seafood pizza, yeah.
Something seafood. However, not only does Mars host the largest volcanoes, it also has the largest canyon.
I can see for that.
Yeah, it's amazing. Look at it. It's a giant scar across the planet, isn't it? Yeah. So Valles Marineris is about 3,000 kilometers long, which is 4 times longer than the Grand Canyon, which is about 800 kilometers. So it's if the Grand Canyon looks spectacular. By the way, I'd love to visit the Grand Canyon one day. Like
I think
it looks
part
amazing.
of our bucket list, yeah.
It's on my bucket list for sure.
Yeah.
I've got a big bucket.
Okay.
It's a huge list. However, 4 times as long as the Grand Canyon. Researchers aren't exactly sure how it came to be, but there are different theories. So there's one theory that it was formed during the growth because of lava movement. So lava under the ground could have pushed the crust upwards and broken it, and then we have this giant valley. So the giant canyon. So there it is. Yeah. So once you're done exploring the heights and the depths of Mars, how about exploring the extreme ends of Mars as well by going to the north and south poles to see the frozen carbon dioxide. So there are two.
So right.
I'm sure it might be fun. Yeah.
Okay.
But it does have 2 icy regions, a north and a south pole. I don't know if there is a Mars Santa, but I mean, you might as well go and have a look for yourself.
Yeah.
The Phoenix lander studied it up close in 2008. And there's also been observations from the orbiting probes around Mars as well. During Mars's winter, the temperatures near both the north and south poles are so frigid that carbon dioxide condenses out of the atmosphere into ice on the surface.
Whoa.
And then in summer, this process reverses, a process known as sublimation. For anyone who watched Star Trek Strange New Worlds episode 2, just saying. It sublimates back into the atmosphere. You need to watch it later. So the carbon dioxide completely disappears in the northern hemisphere, leaving behind a water ice cap. But some of the carbon dioxide ice remains in the southern atmosphere. All of this ice movement has vast effects on the Martian climate, producing winds and other effects. So it's part of the Martian weather as well.
Cool. Wow.
Yeah. Now, how about a dead lake, an empty lake? There's the Gale Crater at Mount Sharp, also known as Olympus Mons.
Whoa. Lindsay, that crater, look at this. Look at the size and the shape of it. Wow, really?
Imagine a giant ocean or lake empty. That's what you're looking at.
That's it. And I'm looking at the shape. It looks like Australia.
It does. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, it looks a bit like Australia,
New Zealand
right?
is like right next to us. New Zealand is like right next to the south.
Yeah.
North, southeast.
But once again, and I'm so sorry about this, no Tasmania. It always gets left out. What is wrong? Why are people... Tasmania is part of Australia too, people.
Look, Tassie, we love you.
We love you, Tasmania. All of you, yes. Stop leaving out Tasmania, everyone.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. All right, so we have to say that because we're basically their neighbours here in Victoria, so got to be good to your neighbours. So it was the Gale Crater was made famous by the Curiosity rover in 2012. It's host to extensive evidence of past water. So Curiosity came across this within weeks of landing and found more extensive evidence of water through its journey on the crater floor. So Curiosity now is actually summiting a nearby volcano called Mount Sharp and looking at the geological features in each of its strata. Ooh. So, I mean, there you go. We've already got a pioneering rover who's summiting mountains for us before we have a go ourselves.
So cool.
So cool. So one of the most exciting findings that Curiosity had was finding complex organic molecules in the region on multiple occasions. So for about 2018, the results of these organics were shared. They were discovered inside 3.5 billion year old rocks.
Whoa.
Yeah. So the results, researchers announced that the rover also found alongside this methane concentrations, which is important because methane can be a sign of life, of past life, not current active life. These, these molecules are in the rock, so not so not actually floating around or whatever. But these elements are produced by microbes. So they say right now it's unclear if it's a sign of life, but it's a step in the right direction if we want to say there was life on Mars.
Wow.
So once you've done all that visiting, you might want to see some formations that are produced by the winds of Mars by going to Medusae Fossae. I hope I said that correctly. All right.
Medusae
Fossae. Yeah. It's apparently one of the weirdest locations on Mars. So if you want to go somewhere a little bit different, some people even speculate that it holds evidence of a UFO crash. Probably on the X-Files, I don't know. Yeah.
Okay.
Send the FBI. Yeah, Mulder and Scully, go check it out.
Okay.
So you know how every place has a weird place to visit? This would be the weird one on this one. So, however, the more likely explanation is that a huge volcano deposit, some 1/5 of the size of the United States, is more likely what it is.
Wow.
So it says here, over time, the winds there have sculpted the rocks into some beautiful formations. And we see this on Earth, how wind can sort of sculpt over time and, create shapes and so on. Researchers still need to study and learn how all of this formed. But it may have been from immensely huge volcanic eruptions taking place hundreds of times over 500 million years. So that's another interesting one. Now, this one is the next one is the recurring slope Lino in Gale Crater. Now, this one you would have to look at from far away and not go anywhere near, because apparently people, if they were to go near it too closely, they could damage it. It's a beautiful natural formation, and we want to keep its shape. So they said you should look at this from your binoculars, not close up. But it's a strange feature, they say, that and the slope Lino tends to form on the sides of steep craters during warm weather. So they said it's hard to figure out what these are. The pictures here, which are taken, that we can see on the website, which were taken from the Gale Crater, shows spots where spectroscopy picked up signs of hydration. In 2015, NASA initially announced that the hydrated salts must be signs of running water on the surface, but later said actually they could be formed by atmospheric water or the dry flows of sand.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's very beautiful, but they said future human explorers may have to admire these mysterious features from afar using binoculars, because we don't want to damage the beautiful formation that it is.
Yep.
I love the name of this one. This is the last one. The Ghost Dunes in Noctis Labyrinthus in the Hellas Basin.
First of all, this sounds like this. Yeah, this sounds like an RPG game.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah.
Oh, of course, no. It sounds like it is a sci-fi place.
Yeah,
place.
Like a location in a sci-fi game or something.
A sci-fi game, or actually a sci-fi show.
Yeah,
it looks so cool.
Man, we're heading to the Ghost Dunes in Noctis Labyrinthus and Hellas Basin.
Gosh, try to say that about 25
Repeat
times.
That again?
Yeah.
Where's that? Well, I never heard. Yeah. Anyway, so these ghost dunes are another really interesting feature of Mars.
Yeah.
So it says Mars is a planet mostly shaped by wind, as we were talking about before, since the water evaporated as its atmosphere thinned. But we can see extensive evidence of past water in the ghost dunes. In the Noctis Labyrinthus and Hellas Basin. Trying very hard to say that properly.
I was about to say,
yeah. But researchers say that these regions used to hold dunes that were tens of meters tall. Later, the dunes were flooded by lava or water, which preserved their bases while the tops eroded away. Old dunes such as these show how winds used to flow on ancient Mars, which in turn gives climatologists some hints as to the ancient environment of the red planet. In an even more exciting twist, there could be microbes hiding in the sheltered areas of these dunes, safe from the radiation and winds that would otherwise sweep them away.
Interesting.
So, thank you to Elizabeth Howell, who wrote this for space.com and gave us a really interesting topic to talk about.
Yeah.
So if you'd like to, if you're planning on visiting Mars, you've got an itinerary. There it is. Eight things that go on your Mars bucket list to start with.
Let's Science is brought to you by StarQuest Media and is a fortnightly podcast that brings you the scientific wonders of our universe from a distinctly Catholic point of view. For more from Caroline, Lindsay, and friends, listen to the StarQuest show, Catholics of Oz. Find links from today's show at sqpn.com/science and find the Catholics of Oz at sqpn.com/Oz. Be sure to follow the show in Apple Podcasts, Google Play, wherever you can find podcasts, or on the SQPN YouTube channel. The generous donations of our patrons at sqpn.com/give make it possible for us to continue Let's Science and all the shows at StarQuest, which makes our nonprofit mission possible. You can join them by visiting sqpn.com/give. Join us next time for more scientific wonders, and thank you for listening to Let's Science on StarQuest.